So I'm a Bible nerd, as anybody that knows me knows, and one of the things that I see a lot of are people looking to get a study Bible. The problem is, if you go into whether a freestanding bookstore or you open a Christian book catalog, there are tons of study Bibles, pages and pages and pages. It would have been cool. I should have had one here and I could flip through the pages and show you just how many. It's ridiculous. Right off the bat, if you haven't done the course, Bible for the Rest of Us, I'm going to put a link right here through the magic of video editing. Go take the course, Bible for the Rest of Us, and particularly do the session called The Truth About Translations, because that's where we talk about Bible translations. Now, study Bibles and Bible translations are different. The translation is actually the scholars took the text of the Greek or the Hebrew and they turned that into English, Spanish, whatever language they're translating into, and created a base text. Then a publisher takes that base text of whatever translation it is, NIV, KJV, ESV, whatever, and they add in all kinds of stuff around the text. Notes, maps, things that help you understand what the text is saying. That's the goal of a good study Bible. Some study Bibles are done by people in a Reformed tradition, Greek Orthodox tradition, charismatic Christians, Wesleyan Christians. So it's important to understand that. Problem is, that's a lot of stuff to digest, and most people aren't super big Bible nerds. Getting people to even read the Bible to begin with is a huge challenge, much less to understand who the contributors are in the Bible that they're using. But at the same time, Disciple Dojo wants you to be critical readers of Scripture. In other words, we want you to engage the text, but not mindlessly. We want you to know what it is you're reading. It's important to clarify for people up front what a good study Bible is and what you're looking at and what you should look for. A study Bible is like you reading the Bible with some theologians, some archaeologists, some biblical textual scholars, some historians reading over your shoulder, telling you things about the text that you would not have known on your own. And therefore, good study Bibles are done by groups of scholars. Now, there are popular Bibles that are put together from one person's perspective. I don't recommend any study Bible as your primary study Bible that has someone's name attached to it. If somebody's name is attached to a study Bible, it should not be your primary study Bible. Whether that's Schofield, whether that's Ryrie, whether that's the Charles Stanley Bible, whether that's the T.D. Jakes Woman Thou Art Loosed Bible, whether that's the John MacArthur, please stay away from the John MacArthur study Bible, whether, I'm just kidding, sort of. Anybody that puts their name on the Bible, you are getting that person's thoughts or opinions on something. And no one teacher, no matter how gifted they are, has enough expertise to give solid, full, well thought out, well researched study material on every book of the Bible. It's not like you have to burn any of those if you have them. But if you're looking for a study Bible, something for you to use, for you to grow in your understanding of the text, I do not recommend your study Bible, primary study Bible, being one with someone's name attached to it. The other thing I would say to look for in a study Bible is something done by a wide range of scholars and thinkers. In other words, something from outside of one theological tradition. If you want to know what the text says, it may be helpful to know how it's been interpreted in your tradition, whatever it is, whether it's Wesleyan, whether it's Reformed, Calvinist, whether it's Catholic, Orthodox. It's certainly helpful to know how the passage has been interpreted by your tradition, but the church is bigger than your tradition. Jesus' body is bigger than whatever tradition you are in. And so a good study Bible takes from a wide range of scholars and historians and thinkers and gives you a range of options when it comes to interpretation. So a good study Bible will come to a passage where Christians have differed throughout history, have taken different interpretations, and a good study Bible will say, here are how some Christians have interpreted this passage, here is how other Christians have interpreted this passage, here are the options, and it may even say this is more likely, but a good study Bible won't be dogmatic about something where Christians differ. It will tell you the reasons some Christians hold it, the reasons others don't hold it, and it'll give you the possibilities when it's something where Christians faithfully disagree on. Because that way you're not getting force-fed a particular theology. You're actually being encouraged to dig into the text yourself, and you're being told how Christians throughout the ages have interpreted it. Let's talk about some surface level considerations, because a good study Bible will set you back a little bit. They aren't cheap. So let me talk about some basics that sometimes They're so basic that you don't even think about. First of all, what types of Bibles? Well, here's an example. This is a text-only Bible, okay? All you have, there are no study notes. You only have the text. This is a double column, and it just gives you the text. So there are no study notes. The only notes in this Bible would be what the translators of the translation, in this case the original ESV, what they felt like were important in terms of translation, and they'll be at the bottom of the page there. And those usually have to do with what a Greek or a Hebrew word, how it could also be interpreted other than the way that they've put it in the main text. And that varies from translation to translation. This is a text-only Bible. Now, the good thing about these are that they're thin. This is really small. It's easy to carry. It's portable. These are typically the cheapest Bibles out there because they don't have all the extraneous stuff. They come in paperback, hardback, leatherback. This is a text-only Bible. Then there are other Bibles that take that same concept and they say, let's jazz it up a little bit. So for instance, here's an example of a journaling Bible. This is the same Bible as this. Same text. These are both the original ESV. But now it took that text and it just put places where you can write notes. That's it. That's the only difference between this Bible and this Bible. Is this one you can take notes in the margin. This one you have to take really tiny notes if you take them in the margin. Those are text-only Bibles. Study Bibles also come in paperback. This is the cheapest option if you're looking for a study Bible. Here's an example, ESV Study Bible. This is a paperback. Now, this is a study Bible. As you can see, it has the text, it has cross-references, and it has notes at the bottom of the page. And these notes tell you all about what's going on in the text. That's what you're seeing in this study Bible. That's why it's so much thicker. Here's a little Disciple Dojo life hack, Bible nerd hack. This, in a leather-bound version, is probably $30 to $70 more than this paperback version. So what I do whenever there's a study Bible that I don't want to be my main study Bible that I take with me when I teach or preach, but that I want to have on the shelf, is I try to see if they have a paperback version. And if they do, I buy it, and then the reason this is so shiny is because I put contact paper on it. And now it's basically covered and protected, and it cost me a fraction of what it would cost if I bought the nice leather-bound version. So paperback Bibles, one way to go. There are hardback Bibles. This is an example. This is the Christian Standard Bible. Same thing. You have your text. This is a double column instead of a single column. You have your cross-references in the middle, and then you have your study notes at the bottom of the page. And so these are the things that you're getting a study Bible for. Then lastly, you have leather-bound study Bibles. Same thing. This is the Archaeology Study Bible. You've got notes. This is single column. You've got notes. You've got excerpts from the ancient world. You've got archaeological stuff. And all of those notes and everything, and this is leather-bound. These are the most expensive. If you're looking for something that's going to sit on the shelf primarily, get a paperback, wrap some contact paper around it, and you're good to go. If you want something that's going to last a little bit longer, take a hardback. If you want something that you can carry around that's going to last a lot longer, go for a leather-bound. Those are the considerations to look out for. Everything else beyond that is just preference. Binding, color, size, all of that kind of stuff. If you don't have good eyesight, get a large print Bible. If you don't want to carry around something the size of a car battery, get a compact, small print, personal size. They're all different sizes, all different bindings, but it's important to know what you're looking for, whether it's going to be your go-to primary. This is my teaching Bible. This has actually been rebound. I had to get this rebound because I wore through the first cover. That's not cheap. But this is the Bible I teach from. This is the Bible I take notes in. This is my go-to. Those are the different options that you have when you're deciding what your budget is for a study Bible. I recommend whatever you can afford, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you're going to give a nice gift to somebody, a good leather-bound Bible with their name printed on it or something like that makes a great gift, as long as it's a good Bible that they're going to read. Because at the end of the day, that's what's important, that you actually read the thing and the notes that are in it, and you study it and you learn from it.